many of you have thought about becoming self-sufficient and then realize you just don't know how much land it would take to have a homestead completely self-sufficient. How much land is needed to raise a year's worth of food? We're breaking it all down in this video. Keep in mind that everyone lives in different growing zones. Some can grow tropical fruit. Some only have a very short growing season. Some locations do not get lots of rainwater for collection. Some areas require warmer or colder temperatures depending on the type of animals you have. So these are variables you must keep in mind depending on where you live. This video will break down the amount of space you need to grow or raise a year's worth of food from gardens, livestock, orchards, and herb gardens. Though this isn't comprehensive, many of the answers will depend on your unique situation and where you live. The following is a general outline of how much space it could take to raise a year's worth of food. Let's talk specifically about gardens. The general rule of thumb when it comes to growing a garden is to have 200 square feet of gardening space per person. That is half for fresh eating and half for preservation for use in the non-growing season. This is only a general rule of thumb, and there are many factors that play into how well you can grow in that space. If you would like to grow culinary herbs or a medicinal herb garden, you'll want to increase this square footage just a bit, but you can grow a lot of herbs for fresh eating and preserving in a small amount of space. If you do not have a large garden area, utilize vertical growing methods like the hoop house or greenstock growing towers. This will add more growing space to your area. Let's move on to fruit and nut trees and talk specifics about them. When it comes to fruit and nut trees, it's easy to get carried away and want an entire orchard of trees. The reality is you only need as many fruit and nut trees as will feed your family for a year. Maybe a bit extra to give away, to use as trade, or to supplement feeding your animals. When you figure all this out, you are really looking at about 1 to 2 semi-dwarf trees of any given type per family of 4. A semi-dwarf fruit tree canopy can take up to 100 square feet when fully grown, but keep in mind when utilizing permaculture practices and building food forests, you can tuck a lot of food growing space into a small area. Livestock is next on the list. This is going to be different for every homestead. For us, the various livestock we raise on our 2-acre homestead includes meat rabbits, ducks, and goats. We chose these for many reasons. Although many people will object to this, our ducks are very quiet. They never make a sound, and that can be good in an SHTF situation. We use ducks for their fresh eggs and also for meat. On our homestead, we also have meat rabbits. We have them for many purposes. The type that we have will get up to 13 pounds before butchering, and we can use the fur for making blankets, clothing, etc. We also utilize their poop for the garden. It is amazing fertilizer. We also have goats so that we can have meat and dairy. There is so many things you can make with dairy. All kinds of cheeses, ice cream, sour cream, yogurt, cream cheese, yada yada yada. The list can go a mile long. We chose ducks over chickens because the type we have produces more eggs than chickens. They do not tear up the ground like chickens do. Ducks are much more hardy than chickens, and ducks live and produce eggs much longer than chickens do. We chose rabbits because of the return on investment. They don't make any noise. They can be raised indoors if needed. They produce a lot of babies at one time, which means more meat. and their gestation period is only about 1 month. We chose goats over cows for dairy simply because goats eat a lot less and need much less acreage. Goats are also much easier to deal with when you look at them in terms of size. I'd much rather have a 100-pound goat come charging at me than a 1,500-pound cow. But your needs and your land may be able to offer more than what ours does. It's all about your location and the types of animals you want to have to sustain you. Here are acreage requirements for many common homestead animals. A milk cow can be important for dairy if you have a large family. One of our goats can give us up to 5 cups a day, which is all we can handle. Cows can give gallons a day. On top of that, they can also give you roughly 50 pounds of fertilizer each day that you can turn into compost and use on your gardens and pastures. Goats do not give this amount. It is possible to raise a cow on only 1/4 of an acre, but you will have to purchase and feed only hay. 3 acres of land per cattle is ideal. But remember, with a cow, you must also have a bull in order for her to have calves and produce milk. And you will have to keep them separated, especially when the calves arrive. The drier the climate, the more land will be required. Let's discuss both chickens and ducks. If you don't have free range or pasture for the ducks or chickens, you'll need about 6 square feet per chicken or duck. This is the coop and outdoor area combined. If they have free range abilities, then 3 to 4 square feet per bird is ideal. An average family of 4 needs about 10 to 15 chickens and 8 to 11 ducks to provide food for a year. The space needed is between 600 and 900 square feet. Let's move on to pigs. An average family of 4 can probably get by with 1 pig per year. However, pigs do better with a buddy, so we recommend raising 2 per year. When pigs are in a pen, you are looking at about 250 square feet per pig. You can feed your pig excess milk or whey, and the pigs can help spread out manure into the pastures. If you're going to raise lambs or goats, you'll want to raise at least 2. They are herd animals and do much better with at least 1 buddy. We don't recommend raising lambs or goats in a pen or stall. They really do best when out on pasture. 2 lambs or 2 goats could be raised on about 1/2 acre. Rabbits don't need much space at all. They can be raised inside cages if need be. Depending on how many rabbits you have, which type of system you use, and your climate, you could easily use about 200 square feet of space for 30 plus rabbits. They truly do give you the best bang for your buck because of how often they can reproduce, and you don't have to wait 1 to 2 years for butchering as you would with other animals. I hope we've helped clear up just how much you can grow and produce in a relatively small amount of space. Though you may not be able to raise a year's worth of food on 1/4 of an acre in the suburbs, you also don't need a 20-acre homestead. For the average family of 4, you can expect to grow a year's worth of food on 3 to 5 acres. Maximize the space that you have right now before you move to more acreage. You'll steadily build your skill sets and systems and be better off when it's time for more garden space or animal space. SHTF Survival Homestead Teaching Farm thanks you for watching this video. Please continue to help us help you by liking, sharing, and subscribing.